Our coverage of Season 2 MLP Atlanta close continues on.
Continues.
I didn't mean to say close.
Closing. Where are we closing?
I don't know. That is Chad Edwards. I'm Michelle McMahon. We rolls on. That's
rolls
what I was like.
Rolls
on from Grandstand. All right, let's dive into the matchup here. It's the Chicago Slice taking on the Dallas Pickleball Club. Chicago Slice won the toss, so they will react in mixed doubles. Dallas with Elise Jones and Callie Smith will start off the serve. Lacey Schneeman early down the line on Elise Jones.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the few spots that Elise Jones can't get back. She will try and does get almost every ball back. Schneeman went for a little too much there, trying to slide it down the line again, just push that one wide.
Lacey Schneeman and Jessie Irvin suiting up together for the Chicago Slice. Irvin goes inside out down the line, just misses. Jones and Smith have a lot of experience playing together, and this is a must-win situation for them, according to General Manager Dave Fleming for the women's.
For this pool, definitely everything counts. Go ahead. I was gonna say that's a good counter by Irvin right there, clearing himself. But Smith just moves so quickly to close that hole back up. Schneeman's just after that first speed up down the line, she's gotten a little bit tighter. Tried to cut that one just a little too fine.
What a shot from Elise Jones down the line on Lacey Schneeman.
Sitting heavy on that forehand, just lays it back straight into the body of Schneeman. Right shoulder.
This is the first match for both teams, the premier level. It's a big finish from Lacey Schneeman. Ben Johns saw the upside in her. She was the third round pick, 25 for the Chicago Slice.
She's dangerous when she finds that rhythm.
Jessie Irvin all over the speed up down the line.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't test that spot too often there from Smith. Irvin doing an excellent job of staying nice and compact on that forehand side. Now once she just gets a little too big on the backhand, typically it's that one-hand punch, this time opting for the two-hander.
Patient point for Jones and Smith. What's the patterning that will work best for that side?
Yeah, that was a much better point there for Dallas. They moved the ball around well. Smith is still going to test Irvin and look for Jones for the counterattack, but they can't pull that trigger too soon. That's a good reach in there from Schneeman. Smith just a little late closing the hole there. That ball stayed up. Just an easy roll through the middle.
Lacey Schneeman, a former full-time aerospace engineer turned pickleball pro.
She's got the smarts, that's for sure.
Certainly that plays into her intelligence on the court, I would imagine, as well.
Well, you know, when you're talking about numbers and angles and percentages, and I think she's got that one under wraps.
Ernie delivered. Callie Smith.
A little bit of an eye roll there from Jessie Irvin. Can't believe she gave not only the Ernie there, but got that ball back into the chest. Good move by Smith.
Lacey Schneeman takes over the point, makes it a 2-point game.
Yeah, it's the second time Schneeman's gotten Jones right there in the right armpit. It's a good spot. A little bit elevated ball, gets that ball to pop up.
Callie Smith, big rip down the line.
Yeah, good setup from Jones. Goes back behind Schneeman as she's trying to take a couple of steps back toward middle. Goes crossbody, crosses her up and gets the pop up. Good finish by Smith again.
Lacey Schneeman once again finds Elise Jones. She's so good with that forehand flick down the line.
Yeah, she fought a tough ball off right there, going across the body, but then gets Jones on the right side, just sitting a little too much backhand.
And then finds the middle. Lacey Schneeman sparking some momentum for the slice.
Well, and that's set up by those balls that she's hit Jones on that right side a couple of times. Jones takes a step to the right to try to clear the backhand this time. It just leaves a larger hole.
Lacey Schneeman is taking over the game after some nice resets in the kitchen.
Yeah, and like I said, she is dangerous when she finds that rhythm. She plays her best when she reaches in, speeds those balls up, and right now she's hitting that perfect spot on Jones, going from right hip to right armpit. Jones has now popped 4 or 5 balls up from that position.
And then gets a kiss off the tape to take a lead, their first.
No, actually that ball was just out. Look close from here. We're a complete far end away from that ball. With a couple of banners, signs, a few poles, the net. We're not going to be making any calls on that end of the court. Let's put it that way. Oh, we might have a challenge here. So players can't ask the referee. They can ask their bench. Well, they decide not to challenge.
Well, in that case, the slice.
Or are they challenging?
No, I think they are challenging.
Are they challenging?
Yep, I believe it is a challenge. We are reviewing the play. Ooh. That's close.
Ooh.
If you drew...
I'm not a video replay referee, so I'm not even going to attempt to call that one in or out. But Maybe I will. That one kind of looks in.
It does, but I can also see where the out call would come from in that way, where you have to find the very center of the bottom of the ball to determine whether or not.
Can we see any separation between the ball and the line?
No, I can't. Can you?
I'm blind, so no.
We might not have a good view of the lines live on court, but we do here. I
would say they're probably going to overturn this, and that ball was in.
A great referee crew looking after us here on grandstand. Here's the verdict. Call is overturned according to Jim Ryan. Howard Hepworth, our tracking referee, and Diane Vida is our lead referee, and that was a good challenge for Dallas, a potentially momentum swinging point as Dallas takes back a lead, the first to 11, so we of course change ends as well.
That's such a good ball there from Schneemann. Inside out, forehand, just that quick flick, accelerates through. Smith not able to catch up to it.
Why would you continue to work the point with Lacey and not test Jesse a little bit more in that sequence?
You know, right now, I just think Callie's feeling a little bit more comfortable staying in that cross court.
Okay.
Irvin does have a very good reach-in flick if that ball does happen to pop up down the line. Wow.
What a shot from Lacey Schneemann. She's been the X factor on their side.
Little step back hook shot right here from Schneemann. But yeah, I would say definitely, Michelle, that they need to test Irvin a little bit more. Schneemann's kind of finding some rhythm.
Oh, net bounce put Elise Jones out of rhythm, and the slice back on top by one.
I think she got the first two off the net, couldn't get that one. But yeah, the other thing that Smith staying in the cross court there with Schneemann, it opens up that misdirect into the right shoulder where Jones has had some problems.
Elise Jones all over the setup from Callie Smith.
That's a good ball there from Smith going down the line. Irvin was sitting a little too heavy on the backhand. Irvin a little upset there, saying that there was a yell before the point was even over from Dallas.
Just wide for Irvin. That's a nice lob from Elise Jones.
Yeah, good reach-in offensive lob there from Jones. Takes that ball out of the air, cuts down the reaction for Irvin, goes over that left shoulder.
It's a nice sequence. Tie game, though. And according to the draft, each team had a similar strategy. Went guy first, then stacked their 2 women and grabbed their last man in the 4th round.
Ooh. So Jones gets that ball back right there on the right shoulder. Just flicks it with the backhand, and it came up the paddle so much that it had heavy topspin and took off when it landed in front of Irvin.
What a point for Jones and Smith.
Yeah, they're changing speeds, changing eye levels. Second offensive lob here from Jones pushes Irvin back away from the kitchen line. Schneemann trying to reset a couple of times.
Wow, that's the University of Utah tennis player shining through for Callie Smith.
Schneemann looking down at the paddle after that one. Thought she had an opportunity to get it back. Smith's overheads were a little shorter, giving them some time, but definitely not lacking power. Ooh. Schneemann's like, nope. I don't think so.
Lacey Schneemann, she's fun to watch. And how much of her game we've seen grow over the last couple months since approaching this full time.
The first time she stepped in at MLP, we saw her in Newport last year, and what a debut there.
Jesse Irvin punches one on the backside of Elise Jones.
Yeah, I think if Irvin goes firmer there, Jones gets that back.
Really?
But, yeah.
Why is that?
It was a little bit softer, dipped a little bit sooner, and Jones was actually ahead of it.
Elise Jones reached in, flicks it middle, 2-point lead.
Another good spot there from Jones. She goes crossbody on Schneemann. That ball's out, sitting on the backhand side of Schneemann. Whoa, she got called for a foot fault.
You don't see that too often.
I have absolutely no idea. I was talking about like she won the point. Callie Smith's husband asking us in the booth if that was a foot fault or not. We didn't get the chance to take a look at that one. They may challenge it. Oh, they're going to challenge it.
Challenge it is. Already 2 challenges. Remember, you get 3 free challenges
this one
in a match, and they were successful in their first challenge, the Dallas Pickleball Club. So here's the challenge. Is her full toe on the line is the question.
Is it right foot, left foot?
I think it's the right foot,
right
but
foot.
I don't see it. Is it the tip of your toe and the shoe comes up a bit, right? It just curves
Technically,
up. So
it does curve a little bit. If you don't
your
put
full toe
if you
has
don't put,
to touch it.
Yeah, if you don't put
the
any
kitchen
weight
line, right?
on the ball of your feet, then technically the end of your shoe may not touch the kitchen line. Ooh, I would like to see it zoomed in.
I don't know if see a full-on. I mean, we're not showing it on the screen here, but we have a vantage point of what the refs are looking at, and it's close.
Now the question is, too, is where do her feet go after she makes contact?
I think she's clear. Do you?
I do see some space.
Like a millimeter of space. We'll see. Here's the verdict.
That's a tough one. All right, so
All right.
Jim Ryan saying that was not a foot fault.
I could see why it would be viewed that way live.
Well,
it was so close.
Yeah, it looked like the toe was over the line there, but like you said, pressure never actually came down. All right, so now this is a question of, does it become a replay of the point because she called it in the middle of the point, or does the point stand because the point was over with that put away from Jones? Howard, what are they doing on that? Is it a replay? Replay of the point.
All right, there you have it.
The shoulder charge between Smith and Jones right there. At least Jones gets so fired up. Oh, Jiminy Christmas.
Oh, man. You hate to see Elise Jones lose the point off the effort into the boards.
I mean, we saw Pesationi take one down yesterday. We've seen Elise Jones flipped over one of these a couple of weeks ago, landed on her back, jumped back over it, got into the point. You know, there's something about these volleyball players.
That's right.
Disregard for their bodies. Just running through fences.
You mentioned it. Elise Jones, former state champion, volleyball state champion, also in tennis as well. Utah Valley MVP in women's volleyball. And no fear when it comes to hitting hard objects and flying over boards and rolling and stop drop.
Diving on the court, leaving skin.
You name it.
Smith just a little late with that decision to try to speed that one up. And then Jones getting caught with her feet still moving as she's coming up. So quickly we're tied back at 19.
Callie Smith, clutch in the closing moments. Game point, 2019, close as it gets. Jones and Smith could finish it here. They have to win on their serve. Oh, Jessie Irvin finishes the point. Callie Smith opted to speed it up cross court on Lacey Schneeman. Should she have sped it up down the line on Jessie, or you still agree with that choice?
No, I probably would have, if we are going to speed up right there, I probably would have gone ahead at Irvin. Just gave a little too much time for Schneeman to counter that one. Oh. It's a tough one for Schneeman to miss there. Takes the ball out of the air and just cuts it too quickly.
A good side out and point for Chicago. Still alive, 21 all. Feels like more is on the line here for Dallas, with Ben Johns lingering in the wings for Chicago. Ooh. Oh, just barely made the dink. And a 22-21 lead to Dallas.
Definitely a lot more back and forth since the freeze has been taken away.
What a shot from Lacey Schneeman, inside out, and a beauty.
Yeah, the angle had to come at some point. Smith and Jones just getting those middle balls back, and you see the palm actually leads on that stroke that drags the paddle, and that's how she changes direction.
There's Jessie Irvin down the line on Callie Smith.
That's a good inside out there from Irvin. See Smith, hips a turn to the middle, sitting on that forehand.
Game point, Chicago.
Oh, double hit right
Jessie
there.
Irvin closes it out, and Chicago flipped the script late and stole what felt like game one from Dallas.
Oh, absolutely. A couple of game points for Dallas. Couldn't pull it off. And then that reach-in flick from Irvin there, going back crossbody straight in the left hip of Callie Smith, gives them the win.
So now we move on to men's doubles, and here comes the GOAT. Ben Johns and Eric Lang feeling pretty good at this point, up 1-0 on Dallas. Jay DeVilliers and James Ignatowicz, though, a very balanced team in terms of depth. You get Jay DeVilliers in the 4th round if you're Dallas. That, to me, feels like a steal. Yeah,
that was a steal, and Jay didn't have as good of a performance as he would have liked in season 1. You know, dropping from the 4th pick overall to that 4th round. But
so, strategically speaking, how do you approach this matchup? You know what Ben Johns is capable of. How do you get Eric Lang more involved if you're Dallas?
Well, you have to go behind Johns, keep him honest. You know, Lang is predominantly going to be sitting there looking for the counterattacks, and he's actually very, very good on that counterattack on the backhand side. The other spot that you can potentially get Johns is that elevated ball on the backhand side. He has difficulty getting on top of that one, but you're also running the risk. If you overhit it, he's going to let it go, it goes out. If you underhit it, then you give him time. So it has to be absolutely perfect. But yeah, I would expect that Lang is going to sit, you know, a little bit heavier toward the line, give Johns plenty of room. He's going to look at staying in those rallies. And the counterattack, John's going to try and move that ball around, insert himself any time that he can.
Eric Lang, a couple months ago, said he gave up his full-time job to commit to pickleball full-time at the age of, in his 40s, 42 years old.
The age of not as young anymore.
Not as young anymore, and I love that. I love that career choice for him. He said why not?
Yeah.
Takes his game to another level, can focus in, can practice. How can he be the best? How can he be the Colin Johns for Ben Johns?
Well, and that's the thing. He's really, really good at a counterattack, and even with the reset, and you watch Colin a lot of the times, Colin has that very good two-hand backhand counter. But, you know, he's known just to reset and allow Johns to create the point. De Villiers and Ignatowicz are going to test Lang. They're going to test him early. And if John starts stepping over, then they're going to have to go behind. But I would like to see them be aggressive, kind of put, faster pace tempo. If you allow Ben to dictate play,
cat mouse,
you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Then the question becomes when to use that pace for Dallas. And game 2 underway. James Ignatowicz back to serve to Eric Lang.
Not much pressure there from that drop. Lang just takes a step back and a quick forehand roll.
What a finish for Jay De Villiers. Low on the backhand, too.
Yeah, Lang's forehand pops up just a little bit here. Good counter, but De Villiers all over that second one. Lang just getting a little too tall there. Stands up, gets on top of the ball, hits straight down into the net.
Oh, Ignatowicz had the pop-up chance he wanted and earned. Just a bit wide there.
Yeah, that's the spot. Johns actually took a step to the middle there, opened up the line. Ignatowicz catching it just a little late.
It's a nice spot from Ben Johns, the dink master.
Yeah, it's good pressure. It just rolls that ball, gets a nice deep dink. Doesn't baby it. Oh.
Jay De Villiers steps outside for the Ernie.
Yeah, good ball there, pulling Johns out wide. Lang was pushed back at the baseline.
Into the net goes Ignatowicz. Serve and point. Back to Chicago. Eric Lang.
And De Villiers just trying to do a little too much there. Heavy topspin from Johns with good dip to it.
Just barely missed off the tape for Ben Johns. You won't see a lot of misses out of him. Can tell the nerves are apparent. Maybe not for Ben.
No.
But it feels like...
I think the other three, it is very quiet out here on Grandstand Court as well. Crowd hasn't quite gotten into this one yet. But this is where it's sneaky, right? All of a sudden, the Slicer up by 3, and they haven't really done anything, put any pressure on. You look up the scoreboard, and it's like, oh, okay.
Jay De Villiers forces the error, gets the serve back, and a 2-point game. Oh, De Villiers looking for the shoulder of Ben Johns, cooks it long.
Yeah, it's a tough speed up there. It's an ambitious speed up, especially when you're taking a full swing from your toes.
Oh, lob selected from Eric Lang. Had him beat just a bit long.
That's good patience there from Lang. Tries to sneak one in with the offensive lob. And Villiers moving through that one. I definitely think for Dallas, staying with that sequence, heavy balls toward Lang there. He's the one that's going to feel the pressure, try to hit out of it.
A lot of pressure from Jay DeVilliers. That's a heavy arm. Dallas looking for some momentum, looking to get the crowd engaged. Oh, tough bounce for Dallas. Dallas owned by Mark Cuban, Dirk Nowitzki, John Isner, just to name a few. Nadowich was there on the counter, and Ben Johns and Eric Lang, the first team to 11. We will change ends. Still doesn't feel like the Slice are having to do too much right now.
No.
So that's the kind of pressure, though, that the GOAT Ben Johns will put on a team. It forces you to feel like you have to do a lot. Right?
Yeah, and that's what Ignatowicz and DeVilliers are doing right now. They're trying to do a little bit too much, trying to get those speed ups, really trying to rush the ball before Johns can get back in a position. And for Lang, he's kind of, he's there and he's like, I'm going to stay in the point, look for that counter. And Jesse Irvin having a little chat with Eric Lang right here about that backhand side.
Chicago Slice sitting pretty. They have a pretty stout ownership group as well. Heidi Klum, Doug Ellen, Chris Everett, Lindsay Davenport, Tracy Austin. The list goes on and on. And they also have the GOAT, Ben Johns, on their team. Jay DeVilliers buries it down the line, and they needed that point.
Yeah, good move there from DeVilliers. Reads Lang's paddle, see that face open up. Nowhere else to go but down the line.
Oh, Eric Lang, he had it.
That's number 2 there for DeVilliers. This time jumping on the backhand side.
Oh, Ignatowicz was there for the firepower. He has the hands.
Yeah, he thinks he hits an out ball there. It may have been. The hard thing is you get in that firefight, you're really trying to put so much on it to beat Johns. Hard to pull off. That's a better ball there, right in between the feet of Eric Lang. Gets him crossed up a little bit.
Jay DeVilliers finds the opening, makes it a 2-point game.
Yeah, Lang tries to go crossbody there on DeVilliers. Just push that one a little too much, trying to go behind Johns. That's a tough part too. If you go for too much, trying to really keep him down the sideline there, it just cuts down your area.
And a missed overhead chance for DeVilliers.
Yeah, a couple of errors back to back.
That one hurts.
make that 3. Good offensive lob there from Lang. Gets that behind De Villiers just enough. He goes for the sharp angle, pushes that one wide.
A now 5-point lead for the Chicago Slice.
I haven't seen Ben John speed a ball up yet. That's the scary part. He hasn't kicked it up.
He hasn't even done anything to really take over the match.
He hasn't kicked it up another gear yet. It's literally just forcing Dallas to do more than what they need to do.
And we haven't even gotten a mixed yet, which is where Ben Johns really shines. I mean, everywhere, and potentially a dream breaker as well. But for Dallas, you either needed to win one of the gender double matches because it doesn't feel likely that you're going to get one of the mixed games against Ben Johns, whoever he matches up with. But hey, anything's possible. And a comeback here feels like a must.
Well, I mean, definitely women's doubles is a must-win for Dallas. Potentially, tougher matchup in men's. Should take the point in mixed against Lang. And then Johns, well, there's first
wow.
meetup.
There it is. Well, you asked for it, Chad.
And then Johns takes the second one. So, in reality, you're hoping for a dream breaker.
Challenge accepted. Down the line, speed up and beauty. Yes, you are hoping for a dream breaker for Dallas, and they feel they're a better team in singles.
Yeah, and I would say
Top
they are
to bottom.
too. I would say they are too. In this situation, though, if you go down 2-0 here now, that's a very uphill battle to win 2 in mixed doubles.
Both teams in action later tonight as well. This is the group of death, by the way. Group B, people are saying you've got Utah with Annalie Waters. You got Riley over on DC.
We have Utah and Chicago Slice on championship court tonight at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
A good hands exchange there. De Villiers getting that last one into the body of Johns. Ties him up a little bit on the backhand. And Dallas just can't string points together right now. They get it back. Very tough to do in rally scoring to go 1-1.
Oh, just barely. Closer than I thought.
Started to curl, started to drop.
That was close.
Yeah, up by a couple of inches.
Uh-oh. That's wide. And the Slice 2 points away from taking a 2-game edge on Dallas. It's good pressure from Jay De Villiers. Running out of real estate. Down 5. They've got to put a run together here. There it is, the corner pocket for James Ignatowicz.
You could see the frustration on Johns' face there, too. He took 2 swings at a forehand, and Lang reached in with the backhand, put him out of position. But an excellent ball by Ignatowicz going down the line. And John selling that one, going back cross court behind De Villiers, brings up game point for the Slice. Good ball there from de Villiers. Again, going right in between the feet of Lang. Extremely difficult ball to pick up when that ball gets deep. A rare miss from Johns.
Dallas still alive, down 3. You must win on your serve, no freeze, so the Slice just need a side out, and they will on the paddle of Ben Johns. So now game point returning to the Slice. Oh, that's a nice lob from Eric Lang. James Ignatowicz just tried to go a little too big on that backhand.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one for Ignatowicz to try to come over. Lang picks the right time with de Villiers trying to come across for the Ernie. It's a lot of court to cover for Ignatowicz on the backhand side and try to take that one out of the air as well.
And a 2-game hole for Dallas to climb out of. What a performance, though, for the Chicago Slice. Winning that women's doubles match or game.
That's big going
seems
in 2-0 right now.
Just now that much more glaring. And now we head into mixed doubles. So, you know, it's Ben Johns, likely with Jesse Irvin, Lacey Schneeman with Eric Lang. And Dallas has to lay their hand first. We will get you out to the matchups after this short break. Back in action here on Grandstand. Michelle McMahon and Chad Edwards on the call for our first mixed doubles game in this series. And the Chicago Slice could end it here. Dallas put out their team first. Callie Smith and Jay de Villiers to which Chicago responded with Eric Lang and Lacey Schneeman. What goes into the thought process there? Ben John's 4th game for insurance?
Yeah, I put him out, and Johns is going to close it out. But I think also to get Lang and Schneeman some confidence going into their other match today. Oh, wow, that still stayed in somehow.
Eric Lang. Wow, that
ball was not going to stay in the vicinity of the court. Somehow gets a paddle on it, flicks it down into the kitchen. And de Villiers overcooks that serve right there. Just gone for a little too much. Schneeman rolling off on that drop, trying to cut up the back of it, add extra top spin.
Oh, forehand flick down the line for Schneeman. Just missed.
Yeah, she had it. She kind of baited de Villiers there. Made it look like going to go cross court, but just that quick flick.
Oh, Eric Lang. The fancy Ernie on his side.
Sharp angle off of that. I mean, when you're 6'5", 6'6", kind of helps, though. Your reach
Just
is
a little bit.
All the way in there.
Jay de Villiers has some size as well. Oh, Jay de Villiers cleaning up.
I like that speed up there from de Villiers. Schneeman takes a step to the middle, right there, goes right shoulder.
Oh, Eric Lang finds the corner.
Both feet off the ground, stab at it, goes back cross court, gets it to drop in. Good speed up there, but Lang somehow managing to get a paddle on it.
Eric Lang, he's been an X factor on his side. Then Lacey Schneeman with a two-hander down the line.
Excellent setup with the drop. Smith trying to take that one out of the air and keep Schneeman back, but leaves it a little too high. Oh, she wasn't expecting that last ball to come back from Smith.
Third left a little high from Callie Smith. Oh, that's an angle. Hello, Callie Smith.
Tough to get that one back with how much power and how much angle is behind that from Smith, but she takes that out in front. Schneeman just trying to do a little too much with that forehand roll. Doesn't quite extend forward. She just comes up the back of it.
Oh, denied was Eric Lang, and now a healthy 4-point lead for Dallas in a must-win situation.
That's a good reach in from Lang and a good angle going back behind Smith. Sets up for the dig right at her feet. Goes back behind her. Oh.
Jay DeVilliers, that train wasn't stopping in the middle.
Well, the other thing is if he bumps off Smith and knocks her into the kitchen right there, it's a fault. So. Dallas holding on to the 4-point lead going into the end change.
What's working for Callie Smith and Jay DeVilliers?
All right, right now they're playing cleaner pickleball than the slice. There have been a couple of errors from the slice. Balls into the net, trying to do a little too much on the rolls. Just need to develop the point a little bit more. But it's been a good job from Smith and DeVilliers to choose the right times to speed up as well.
ATP delivered from Eric Lang.
I'm not sure where DeVilliers is going here. He actually ends up screening Callie Smith almost. I think she had a pretty good chance at defending that ATP.
Running the screen. Jay DeVilliers, no problems there.
Yeah, it's a nice setup there from DeVilliers. Schneemann tries to take this one, does take this one out of the air. The only option really there is to go back down the line because she's still moving. DeVilliers just takes off, doesn't even stop. Good backhand punch there from Lang.
And Lacey Schneemann right down the backhand side of DeVilliers.
And DeVilliers knew he was in trouble here. You see him just stand up and be like, ugh, I'll try to get a paddle on it somehow. A little miscommunication there in the middle.
3-point lead continues for Dallas. If you're just joining us, this is the first match of the day for both teams, Premier Level Group B. Ooh, Smith had a wide open middle.
And DeVilliers set that one up going into the body of Lang. Pushed him to the left as well. Smith just a little bit of hesitation, catching that one late.
And a missed return makes it a 1-point game. Chicago down 1.
Back-to-back errors are so crucial here in rally scoring. But Schneemann needs to make that one there. Can't give that away so quickly. Nice deep return there from Lang, pushing de Villiers back. Wind's picking up just a little bit too, kind of push that ball down into the net.
Ooh, that ball was getting crushed no matter where you put it.
Does hit a very hard ball if it's right there on that forehand overhead for Eric Lang, but a good job staying in that point as well. Nice fast hand, short compact swings.
15-all is the score. What a play from Jay de Villiers.
Another excellent setup there on the Ernie. Zings this one back quickly, just follows it. Not much Schneemann can do that. Around the post.
Oh, ATP setup from Callie Joe Smith.
He just threw the Joe in there as well.
That was a pretty point for Dallas. And a 2-point lead they will try to protect after the timeout. What is the discussion on both sides right now, you think?
Well, I think the last couple of points have been very, very well executed by Dallas. De Villiers coming over, taking that ball from Smith and really accelerating back cross-court, pulling Schneemann out wide, setting himself up for the Ernie. And then just good pressure. They've tested Lang a couple of times on that counter, and he has been ready for it. So I'd probably say, Dallas needs to just move that ball around a little bit more. And for Chicago slice, I mean, you get it back. You can't miss a third into the net. Can't pop those balls up.
They seem tight.
Yeah.
Just nervous in those moments, which you're down 2 games, so to be fair. And then you have Ben Johns waiting in the wings. You have to play a near perfect game. There's big play.
Yeah, but even right there, the slice has control over that point right there. Dallas was scrambling, and then all of a sudden, just an easy backhand dink that you cut across and miss into the net. That was a little uncharacteristic there from Smith.
And to your point, a lot easier to play free when you're up 2 games.
Yes.
Lacey Schneemann tests the middle, gets Callie Smith in a jam, and now they trail by just 1. The slice, looking to forge a comeback. All right, Jay de Villiers answering that thought for now.
I don't like that speed up there from Lang. It was a decent drop, but if he doesn't finish that point there or completely execute it, which he didn't, it leaves that court wide open.
Just long for Callie Smith, who was all over it.
Just a little too much power on that one.
Now, where should Callie Smith be focusing her attention on this return?
I would probably go to Schneemann here, out wide. Yeah, Schneemann tried to come up a little too far on that ball that was up. Schneemann hasn't seemed comfortable on her thirds lately.
Game point for Dallas. Eric Lang not going away quietly.
Yeah, that's another good ball from Schneemann there. She goes down the line. And that one she committed to. Even if de Villiers was going to try the Ernie, she hit it firmly, so it would have been difficult for him to pick up. Oh.
De Villiers just casually takes off for the Ernie. He is saying he reestablished his footwork. He's called for the fault here to be clear.
No, there is no reestablished whatsoever. You got 1 foot down and 1 foot only. No. It's not even close. So they are challenging that De Villiers reestablished, but you see right foot, left foot outside, and as he makes contact, the right foot is hovering over the kitchen line.
Wow. At 2019, that one hurts, but hey, still alive, still have to win by 2, and you still have to win on your serve. So, assuming this challenge does not go the way that Dallas wants it to, and the serve is indeed on the side of Chicago, what's the focus on the side of Dallas? How are you targeting your return? Then where are you hitting your...
Well, again, I would return to Schneemann here, put the pressure on. Lang isn't coming up and crashing hard to really put any pressure on either. So, you know, go to Schneemann. She hasn't been as consistent with the third shot. Get a good drop, and then just move that ball around. Lang has gotten into trouble a couple of times where he's tried to do too much. So I think, you know, for Dallas, it's just stay nice and calm, cool, collected right here.
There we have it. Jim Ryan telling us the foot fault stands, as Chad immediately declared that it would. First view of the replay. And so 20 all. Chicago with the serve, win by 2, win on your serve.
Lacey Schneemann have a day, but they overturned their own call, and that one was in.
De Villiers was fired up after that one, as he should be. 21-20, Dallas with game point on their side. Oh, Jay De Villiers stepped in to help his partner out.
Yeah, and that's a very good roll there from Schneemann. She doesn't try to go too deep with it. She just rolls it down. De Villiers actually ran into a bad hop there.
Into the net for Schneemann, and game point number 3 for Dallas, 22-21. Callie Smith's serve, they've been targeting her on their returns, so her third shot is going to need to be on point for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind her driving this one even.
Just wide for Schneemann. Dallas is still alive. They steal a game on Chicago. And here comes Ben Johns and Jesse Irvin.
Well, again, it comes down to that women's doubles point where Dallas was ahead. And the slice ended up coming back and stealing it.
So, all the pressure on James Ignatowicz and Elise Jones. Are they built for this moment? Can they take down Ben Johns?
I think if they play their best pickleball, they have a chance.
Best pickleball of their life, or what kind of best pickleball are we talking about?
To their full potential. To their full potential. So, yes, potentially the best pickleball of their life.
Well, you just can't miss with Ben Johns, right? So you have to hit the perfect shot, make the right decision, and then execute it at a higher level, which is a lot to ask.
And the hard part, too, is you think about that you have to be absolutely perfect, and then that's when you end up making the mistakes. You're like, I can't leave a ball too high here. We miss it into the net. I can't, push this ball wide. We end up going even further out. So it's just playing the ball as it's given to you. Don't try to do too much. But Irvin, the dangerous part here for Irvin, she's played with Johns before as well, and she does an excellent job being there on that right sideline. And she's got such a good counterpunch with the backhand, and able to follow back as Johns moves out as well. This is a very dangerous mixed doubles team in general.
Mm-hmm. So who does this fall more on? I mean, typically in mixed, it falls more on the male partner to be the dominant X factor. I guess, what argument do you make for James or Elise to be the X factor in this particular matchup?
They have to try to keep Johns honest. When you're playing against an aggressive player like Johns that takes up a lot of court, if you're trying to isolate Irvin, you're giving him the freedom to move around. If you go behind him and kind of pinch him a little bit down that sideline, keep him honest, then you can isolate back at Irvin. Even hitting your returns to Johns, because that keeps him back at that baseline a little bit longer. You go on the return to Irvin, Johns comes up, gets big in the middle, and really puts the pressure on from the beginning. So in a situation like this, you can't be afraid to hit Johns the ball, because the fewer times that you do, the more room it gives him to move.
Ben Johns, early, you can't hit anything above his waist. Good counters from Jesse Irvin.
So even that one there, I like it. I like the first ball at Irvin, and then even just go a roll behind Johns there that's a little bit firmer.
Oh, James Ignatowicz jumps into the play.
And
wow.
That's the ball where Johns has trouble. You'll see this one on the backhand side that's elevated and kind of outstretched. Can't do anything with it, and an excellent move by Ignatowicz to step over, go back behind him there.
Elise Jones stands strong on the right side of the court, goes toe-to-toe with Ben Johns. Tie game early. Foot fault and a missed time situation for James Ignatowicz.
Yeah.
Knew it before he took off, almost, it seemed.
A little hesitation. Well, didn't quite get the width he needed, ended up landing on the sideline.
Challenge. Ben Johns thinks he saw it right away, and you don't see that too often when...
A challenge at 3-2.
That means he thinks he knows he's right. So let's have another look at this ball off the tape. Once we get a chance, we have a view, fortunately, with the referee camera. Oh, I think that's out.
That looks wide.
I think that is out. Yeah, just barely. I see a little bit of space. So remember, it's the direct center of the ball. Direct center of it. There has to be space between the line and the ball. And I think I see a shade of green.
In that frame there, you do.
But I guess that's, I mean, okay. So
that one's a little bit closer.
I still see green in between.
Yeah.
Thanks to our incredible cameras here with Major League Pickleball. They've got the fancy cams on the line to give us a better vantage point on these close calls, especially when it's a matter of millimeters. It's rare that Ben Johns loses a challenge when he uses one.
Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cameras out here for the sideline, baseline, kitchen line. So the ball was ruled wide.
All the pressure on Elise Jones and James Ignatowicz. We're going to learn what they're made of mentally in this game right here. So far, so good. 3-all.
Ball skidding off the line there. Ignatowicz looking down at it after. Just never came up.
Is that the right shot to drive it on that third, you think, down the line on Jesse?
If the ball stays up, yeah. But on that one, with how deep it was, just very tough ball.
Ben Johns doing Ben Johns things on his side.
And catching that one just a little flat. Stands up a little bit as well. That slower ball giving Ignatowicz a little bit of trouble here. It's a good speed up. Irvin just resets it, gets it down. Oh, called for another foot fault.
Called on Ignatowicz.
Take a look here. Yeah.
Oh.
So he steps in with the right. And the never reestablishes it. Takes a step with the left outside the kitchen, but that right foot's still in the air.
Jesse Irvin was there to clean it up on the block of James Ignatowicz, and the slice pull ahead by 4.
I'm pretty sure Ben Johns hit that with his eyes closed, because when he looked up for it, it was straight into the sun.
It's a tall task to take on the GOAT.
He just stepped up just a little bit. Just went up one little notch. Hasn't fully gone up a whole nother level yet.
A timeout called by Dallas as Chicago takes a 5-point lead. You said at the beginning that James Ignatowicz and Elise Jones had to play their best pickleball. How are they measuring up, in your opinion?
They started off well, but now Johns has kind of stepped in and taking a little bit more control of the middle. Irvin has had a couple of really nice counters and the put away. But if you notice too, is that she's a step and a half behind the kitchen line there, giving herself a little bit more time. It also gives Johns the room to move around the court where he wants to.
Ben Johns back to serve to Ignatowicz.
And Johns pulled off that one. Just tried to rush the drive. I think the talk from the sideline here from Dallas is to just try to put a little bit more pressure on, be more aggressive with the returns, more aggressive with the serves and the thirds right here.
Elise Jones finds the back corner on Ben Johns.
Hey, Johns anticipated that ball to come back to the forehand after that speed up. Jones able to misdirect it. back down the line.
That's a beautiful ball from Jesse Irvin. Jesse Irvin was Ben John's pick in the draft. So, of course, Chicago got the #1 overall pick, and Ben Johns had his say in who they took in the second round, pick 24. He went Jesse Irvin.
Like I said, they have played tournaments together. They're familiar with each other. And Jessie's just, she's very steady out there. She's not going to go for too much.
Jesse Irvin again, packing a powerful punch. Chicago up 11-7.
Yeah, she generates so much power from a completely straight arm. It's just all shoulder ripping down on that ball.
And change in a timeout happening now. So for Dallas, as the general manager Dave Fleming talks things over with his team, what's the discussion from Jay DeVilliers to Elise Jones to any advice in this matchup?
Well, they had a little bit of a success going behind Johns. I'd like to see them go there a little bit more, but in reality, just slow themselves down a little bit. If you look at the opposite sides of the court, Johns hits a third. He's very smooth. He's very methodical about his movement. Ignatowicz is 27,000 steps a second with how fast his feet are constantly going.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
So I'd like to see him just slow himself down just a little bit.
Into the net for Ben Johns. That's a good point and a good response out of the end change for Dallas.
Yeah, and when I say slow it down, it's not necessarily not being aggressive. It's just not rushing through the point.
That's something that Ben Johns does so incredibly well. He never looks panicked, and even when he speeds it up, his body's quiet. Just wide for Ben Johns.
That's a good get from Ignatowicz right there. Fully extended. John's kind of surprised that that ball came back.
James Ignatowicz comes up big on that backhand. It can be a weapon.
And I like that speed up from him right down the line here. Irvin opens up just a little late, and that paddle lays back. Gets that ball to pop up.
A 2-point game. Could have been a momentum swinging point for Dallas. Instead, goes to Chicago.
The ball catches the net and goes deep. Just gets on top of that one a little too much. Does Johns right there, and it flattened out on him.
Just wide, an inside-out roll. A rare miss for Ben Johns. And what once was a 5-point lead for Chicago has evaporated to just 1.
Oh, Jones was there, just didn't get a good swing. Who had the foot fault?
I think the foot fault's called on Elise anyways.
Huh. Looked like
lost the point no matter what, but
looked like she was just
for clarification, her foot was also on the line.
Standing there, it didn't even move.
Salt in the wound. Would have lost the point either way. Oh, Elise Jones almost had that point on her side, but rarely do you get Ben Johns out of position.
Yeah, it was an excellent ball back behind him. Jones again going for the Ernie. He gets caught in a position coming back into the court.
Well played by the greatest to ever do it, Ben Johns. 3-point lead for Chicago. Oh no, missed return is not going to cut it for Dallas. Oh no.
Not 2 in a row. Yeah. Yes, that is a tough one. Grit the teeth on that one.
ATP, an effortless one from Ben Johns.
Yeah, you've gone having Johns on the ropes and not being able to put it away, 2 missed returns and then an ATP, and now all of a sudden you're down by 6.
It almost feels like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Those 2 points right there. That's a tough one. There's a good miss. Well, not a good miss for Ben, but for Dallas, they'll take a break from the...
That's a lucky break right there. Johns typically takes that ball, similar to what we saw De Villiers do, takes that, rolls that back quickly out wide, goes for that Ernie straight after. Tough ball there for Elise Jones. Again, trying to use that offensive lob out of the air. This goes a little deep.
Oh, James Ignatowicz pulls a backhand out of his pocket.
It looked like there was a nice lane there for Irvin to go down the line. Ignatowicz with that right foot on the center line, but just that quick step, short, compact swing. A little momentum shift here for Dallas Pickleball Club.
Can't afford to lose any points here, because if you do, put Chicago at game point. Playing straight up rally scoring, no more freeze. And that will bring game point on cue to Chicago. Ben Johns and Jesse Irvin could close out the match here. You must win on your serve. Jesse Irvin gets James Ignatowicz in a handcuffed position down the line. Chicago slice take the match 3-1 on Dallas. What's your initial thoughts?
No, that is a very good showing there from the slice. What I'm most impressed about is that first women's doubles match where they were down and facing game points, multiple actually, but stuck with it kept with that fight, or otherwise we'd be going with a dream breaker right
We
now.
absolutely would. Coming up next here on Grandstand, it's Texas against Bay Area. Over on Championship Court will be Atlanta against Orlando, DC and Utah. Were or are going at it on Championship Court right now. We'll see what those results are when we have them. And wow, what a match. The next match starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. For Chad Edwards, I'm Michelle McMahon saying so long. Thanks for joining us for part of your afternoon. I'm heading on over to Championship Court. You're probably heading to Coach.
I'm going to Coach.
All right.
I'll be back
we'll
here
see
in
you there.
about 2.5 hours.
All right. Stay tuned for the rest of our matches here on Grandstand Court.